Welcome to our video series, Conceptual Relationships of Words in the English Language. In this series, we present English vocabulary in a structured and hierarchical manner. Each video showcases a range of terms and their corresponding definitions, presented in an organized sequence from broader concepts to more specific details. The series is divided into playlists, videos, and sections, each delving into distinct aspects of the English language. To get the most out of these videos, here are some of the suggested uses. We will be using WordNet as our primary reference throughout the series. For detailed information about WordNet, please visit the official WordNet website. If you're new to our channel, we recommend starting with our introductory videos. They provide essential context for understanding our approach, purpose, and methodology. For simpler navigation, we presented an outline of the terms and relationships in one of these introductory videos. Remember to show your support by liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing to our channel. In this episode, we will explore properties related to strength as well as some chemical properties. It will cover the property strength, weakness, and some chemical-related properties like concentration, composition, and consistency. This video is part of the playlist attribute. Attribute playlist is one of two playlists devoted for the conceptual domain attribute. Attributes are linguistic elements that serve as modifiers to provide descriptive information about another word. They convey qualities, characteristics, or properties associated with the entities they modify, enriching the meaning and context of the expression. Section 1. In this section we will explore the property strength and the miscellaneous properties sustainability and edibility.
Property.
A basic or essential attribute shared by all members of a class.
A study of the physical properties of atomic particles.
Sustainability.
The property of being sustainable.
Edibility.
The property of being fit to eat.
Digestibility.
The property of being easy to digest.
Indigestibility.
The property of being difficult to digest.
Strength.
The property of being physically or mentally strong.
Fatigue sapped his strength.
Brawn.
Possessing muscular strength.
Endurance.
The power to withstand hardship or stress.
The marathon tests a runner's endurance.
Long sufferance.
Patient endurance of pain or unhappiness.
Stamina.
Enduring strength and energy.
Legs.
Staying power.
That old Broadway play really has legs.
Sufferance.
Patient endurance especially of pain or distress.
Tolerance.
The power or capacity of an organism to tolerate unfavorable environmental conditions.
Capacity.
Tolerance for alcohol.
He had drunk beyond his capacity.
Firmness.
The muscle tone of healthy tissue.
His muscular firmness.
Good part. Good part.
A place of especial strength.
Huskiness. Huskiness.
The property of being big and strong.
Indomitability. Indomitability.
The property being difficult or impossible to defeat.
Invulnerability. Invulnerability.
The property of being invulnerable, the property of being incapable of being hurt, physically or emotionally.
Immunity. Immunity.
The quality of being unaffected by something.
Immunity to criticism.
Might. Might.
Physical strength.
Robustness. Robustness.
The property of being strong and healthy in constitution.
Stoutness. Stoutness.
The property of being strong and resolute.
Sturdiness. Sturdiness.
The property of something that is strongly built.
Vigor. Vigor.
Active strength of body or mind. Section 2. In this section we will explore the property weakness.
Weakness. Weakness.
The property of lacking physical or mental strength, liability to failure under pressure or stress or strain.
The weakness of the span was overlooked until it collapsed.
Adynamia. Adynamia.
Lack of strength or vigor, especially from illness.
Attenuation. Attenuation.
The property of something that has been weakened or reduced in thickness or density.
Enervation. Enervation.
Lack of vitality.
An enervation of mind greater than any fatigue.
Faintness. Faintness.
The property of being without strength.
The faintness or potency of the feeling.
Fatigability. Fatigability.
Susceptibility to fatigue, a tendency to get tired or lose strength.
Feebleness. Feebleness.
The quality of lacking intensity or substance, Nathaniel Hawthorne.
A shrill yet sweet tenuity of voice.
Flimsiness. Flimsiness.
The property of weakness by virtue of careless construction.
Fragility. Fragility.
Lack of physical strength.
Inanition. Inanition.
Weakness characterized by lack of vitality or energy.
Insubstantiality. Insubstantiality.
Lack of solid substance and strength.
Smallness. Smallness.
The property of having relatively little strength or vigor.
The smallness of her voice.
Vulnerability. Vulnerability.
Susceptibility to injury or attack.
Assailability. Assailability.
Vulnerability to forceful attack.
Defenselessness. Defenselessness.
The property of being helpless in the face of attack.
Destructibility. Destructibility.
Vulnerability to destruction.
Exposure. Exposure.
Vulnerability to the elements, to the action of heat or cold or wind or rain, or
exposure to the weather,
Solarization. Solarization.
exposure to the rays of the sun.
Windage. Windage.
Exposure to the wind, as the exposed part of a vessel's hull which is responsible for wind resistance.
Fragility. Fragility.
Quality of being easily damaged or destroyed.
Weak part. Weak part.
A place of especial vulnerability.
Achilles heel. Achilles heel.
A seemingly small but actual mortal weakness.
Jugular. Jugular.
A vital part that is vulnerable to attack.
he always goes for the jugular.
Underbelly. Underbelly.
The quality of being weak or unprotected. Winston Churchill.
The soft underbelly of the axis.
Section 3. In this section we will explore some chemical properties such as concentration and constitution.
Chemical property. Chemical property.
A property used to characterize materials and reactions that change their identity.
Volatility. Volatility.
The property of changing readily from a solid or liquid to a vapor.
Concentration. Concentration.
The strength of a solution, number of molecules of a substance in a given volume.
Hydrogen ion concentration. Hydrogen ion concentration.
The number of moles of hydrogen ions per cubic decimeter.
pH. pH.
From potential of hydrogen, the logarithm of the reciprocal of hydrogen ion concentration in gram atoms per liter, provides a measure on a scale from 0 to 14 of the acidity or alkalinity of a solution, where 7 is neutral and greater than 7 is more basic, and less than 7 is more acidic.
Acidity. Acidity.
pH values below 7.
Hyperacidity. Hyperacidity.
Excessive acidity.
Alkalinity. Alkalinity.
pH values above 7.
Neutrality. Neutrality.
pH value of 7.
Molality. Molality.
Concentration measured by the number of moles of solute per kilogram of solvent.
Molarity. Molarity.
Concentration measured by the number of moles of solute per liter of solution.
Titer. Titer.
The concentration of a solution is determined by titration.
Constitution. Constitution.
The way in which someone or something is composed.
Genotype. Genotype.
The particular alleles at specified loci present in an organism.
Karyotype. Karyotype.
The appearance of the chromosomal makeup of a somatic cell in an individual or species, including the number and arrangement and size and structure of the chromosomes.
Phenotype. Phenotype.
What an organism looks like as a consequence of the interaction of its genotype in the environment.
Structure. Structure.
The manner of construction of something and the arrangement of its parts.
Artists must study the structure of the human body.
Computer architecture. Computer architecture.
Computer science, the structure and organization of a computer's hardware or system software.
The architecture of a computer system software.
Complex instruction set computing. Complex instruction set computing.
Computer science, a kind of computer architecture that has a large number of instructions hard-coded into the CPU chip.
Reduced instruction set computing. Reduced instruction set computing.
Computer science, a kind of computer architecture that has a relatively small set of computer instructions that it can perform.
Cytoarchitecture. Cytoarchitecture.
The cellular composition of a bodily structure.
Framework. Framework.
The underlying structure.
Providing a factual framework for future research.
Infrastructure. Infrastructure.
The basic structure or features of a system or organization.
Texture. Texture.
The physical composition of something, especially with respect to the size and shape of the small constituents of a substance.
Breadfruit has the same texture as bread.
Hydrophobicity. Hydrophobicity.
The property of being water repellent, tending to repel and not absorb water. Section 4. In this section we will explore the property consistency. This is the first of two sections that cover consistency.
Consistency. Consistency.
The property of holding together and retaining its shape.
When the dough has enough consistency, it is ready to bake.
Gaseousness. Gaseousness.
Having the consistency of a gas.
Bubbliness. Bubbliness.
The property of giving off bubbles.
Foaminess. Foaminess.
The property of being foamy.
Thickness. Thickness.
Resistance to flow.
Creaminess. Creaminess.
The property of having the thickness of heavy cream.
Semifluidity. Semifluidity.
The property midway between a solid and the liquid.
Thinness. Thinness.
The consistency of low viscosity.
He disliked the thinness of the soup.
Fluidity. Fluidity.
The property of flowing easily.
Adding lead makes the alloy easier to cast because the melting point is reduced and the fluidity is increased.
Wateriness. Wateriness.
The property of resembling the viscosity of water.
Porosity. Porosity.
The property of being porous, being able to absorb fluids.
Permeability. Permeability.
The property of something that can be pervaded by a liquid, as by osmosis or diffusion.
Absorbency. Absorbency.
The property of being absorbent.
Sponginess. Sponginess.
The porosity of a sponge.
Viscosity. Viscosity.
Resistance of a liquid to shear forces, and hence to flow.
Cohesiveness. Cohesiveness.
The property of being cohesive and sticky.
Gelatinousness. Gelatinousness.
The property of having a viscosity like jelly.
Sliminess. Sliminess.
The property resembling or being covered with slime.
Stickiness. Stickiness.
The property of sticking to a surface.
Adhesiveness. Adhesiveness.
The property of sticking together, as of glue and wood, or the joining of surfaces of different composition.
A heated hydraulic press was required for adhesion.
Hardness. Hardness.
The property of being rigid and resistant to pressure, not easily scratched, measured on Mohs scale.
Firmness. Firmness.
The property of being unyielding to the touch.
Incompressibility. Incompressibility.
The property of being incompressible.
Softness. Softness.
The property of giving little resistance to pressure and being easily cut or molded.
Compressibility. Compressibility.
The property of being able to occupy less space.
Downiness. Downiness.
A light softness.
Flabbiness. Flabbiness.
A flabby softness.
Mushiness. Mushiness.
A mushy pulpy softness. Section 5. In this section we will explore the property consistency. This is the second of two sections that cover consistency.
Breakableness. Breakableness.
The consistency of something that breaks under pressure.
Brittleness. Brittleness.
Firm but easily broken.
Flakiness. Flakiness.
Having or breaking into thin crisp flakes.
Crumbliness. Crumbliness.
Excessive breakableness.
Unbreakableness. Unbreakableness.
The consistency of something that does not break under pressure.
Solidity. Solidity.
The consistency of a solid.
Compactness. Compactness.
The consistency of a compact solid.
Density. Density.
The amount per unit size.
Bits per inch. Bits per inch.
A measure of how densely information is packed on a storage medium.
Flux density. Flux density.
Physics, the number of changes in energy flow across a given surface per unit area.
Optical density. Optical density.
Physics, a measure of the extent to which a substance transmits light or other electromagnetic radiation.
Rarity. Rarity.
The rarefied quality.
The tenuity of the upper atmosphere.
Relative density. Relative density.
The ratio of the density of something to the density of a standard.
Specific gravity. Specific gravity.
The density of a substance relative to the density of water.
Vapor density. Vapor density.
The density of a gas relative to the density of hydrogen.
Impermeability. Impermeability.
The property of something that cannot be pervaded by a liquid.
Non-absorbency. Non-absorbency.
The property of not being absorbent.
Retentiveness. Retentiveness.
The power of retaining liquid.
Moisture retentivity of soil.
Urinary retention. Urinary retention.
Holding urine in the urinary bladder.
He has a problem with urinary retention.
End of episode. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to our channel for more engaging content. In the next episode, we will present attribution.